I'm cutting through the country, on my way to you, running at a ridge, coming up with truth. I'm cutting through the country, I'm on my way to you. I'm cutting through the country, listening for you.
This is 130 Linwood Lane. It's the house I grew up in. It's the home I was raised in. It's the home that taught me what a home is. Check out this photo from 1947. Look at that screened-in porch. My parents were only babies when this photo was taken. This house is old. It's over 100 years old, but for the last 49 years, it was ours. And like us all, it's been through some changes. Like the upstairs attic was transformed into 3 bedrooms when me and my siblings couldn't fit downstairs comfortably. After Hugo, we added on a primary bathroom and a guest suite and an office to the back. But this house is going through one more big change. Soon this house will be somebody else's because my parents are downsizing. But before that, I had to introduce you to one of the main characters in my life and share some of the memories of it and the surrounding area that my home is so beautifully connected to in this hometown. So come on in. Welcome. Oh yes, that familiar click and squeak of the front door opening into the most awesome house. It's the sound you hear when family comes home, friends walk right in and announce themselves, and the sound you recognize when a great-grandmother has come over to hold her great-grandson.
I remember when we were looking at the house to buy it, and it was in good shape. It felt like it was. I said, well, I know it's good, and I jumped up and down in the middle of the empty hall. And I said, nothing's rattling.
Only thing rattling these days is the sound of boxes being moved around. Please forgive the mess. Like I mentioned before, they're downsizing, so they are in the process of getting things in order. My dad has cleaned out the attic again for his 3rd trip to the dump today, while my mom is shredding all of her past clients' files from when she was a counselor.
As we're at this time in our lives of leaving the home we've been in for so long, I am going, finally, after all these years, going through my records and shredding them and remembering all those people that I saw, and what a wonderful experience it was for me. I hope it was good for them too, but who knows.
So what's it like to have a house on the same street that you grew up on?
Wonderful. Loved it. Had a great time. There's some remorse there about leaving because of that. But it's time. Things change. All for the better. I really enjoyed living here when Ms. Button was in the cottage, when my mom and daddy lived over there, when Ms. Luke and Sandy lived over here, when Ms. Canarians lived over there, when Ms. Johns lived over there, when Salvos still lived over there, and Ms. Willingham lived over there, and Mr. and Miss Patton lived over there, and Mr. and Miss Simmons lived back here. It was good living. It was fun. Everybody was family.
A family of great friends and excellent neighbors is always ideal, but I have some great memories of my actual family that I hold dear. One thing I remember, my brother loved the Braves. He had me come out here and pitch to him, and he would do the whole lineup from any of the seasons, whether they were right-handed or left-handed. And of course, his favorite was Dale Murphy. I was able to repay him for letting me come out here and pitch to him for all those years when I got to introduce him to Dale Murphy a couple of years ago when I had to interview him for something with the news. Anyway, Jay, this one's for Dale Murphy. Just call me Pasquale Perez. My sister and I would share a pair of roller skates and fly around our house wearing superhero long johns and taking people's snack order. Check this photo out. We were a mighty food-craving fighting duo. And of course, the time she and I landed on the front page of the local paper for making mud pies.
I know I'm not the only one. Didn't everybody fill up a trash can with water and sit in it in the hot sun? We used to do it listening to Pink Floyd all the time. It's pretty gross. We should probably change the lyrics from comfortably numb to stupidly dumb.
I love this porch.
It is a great porch for taking photos of grandkids and me and my brother and sister, but it's the best place to enjoy a good rain. This house hangs on to the memories for me in its walls, the cracks in the floor, the books on the shelves, surrounded by knickknacks on tops of cabinets and tables. My memories are safe in the flickering lights and lamps, the family photos of loved ones who are past, and those we can still hug this very day. But I can't have 130 Linwood Lane memories alone without associating them with memories in the town of Summerville that embraces me too. Here are just a few I'd like to share with you. In the springtime, I'd always ride my bike or skateboard to the Zaya Festival. I tried to never miss it. I love it. It's just a couple of years older than I am. It's about the same age as the time we've spent in our house. I always love walking around here and seeing how much this town admires my folks. Everyone comes up, shakes their hands, and hugs them just to say hello. It is the best place to come and look for wacky water weenie guns, make some sand art, eat a potato tornado, drink some expensive sarsaparilla, see some friends, and visit Uncle Frank's tree. He was the Parks and Playground Commissioner, and they dedicated this section of the park to him for making Summerville so beautiful. And of course, boom, baba, hop on to a free pie eating contest. No matter the outcome, you always win because the pie is free. Boom, baba, boom.
Dr. Sayers, the principal here for Summerville Elementary, bid on me at the church auction and got me and had me do services here at the school, and one of them was to paint this map. I was the first one to paint that map. I remember. I got yellow paint on my Doc Martens. Oh well. This sign says Saul Alexander Playground, but to me, I know it as Laurel Street Park. This park, right down the road from my house, is a treasure. I've come here so many years, but it's changed a lot. Like over there, they had like two 20-foot high metal slides that were so hot and so fast. And way over there, by that weird green yellow thing now, there was the witch's hat that was so dangerous. Looked kind of like this. Right here where this dirt is was an old merry-go-round. Metal, colorful. It was awesome. Here's a video of my daughter Rory pushing me on it. But when I think of Laurel Street Park, I think of breakdancing. My sister and I used to come out here with our cardboard and our boombox, and we would backspin and windmill like it was crazy. What would you know? I brought my cardboard and my boombox. So let's do this.
Oh yeah, cause we are the jam on crew and jamming on niggas how we do the do. Move funky up until you book it down. People check out the sound.
That's horrible. But my sister can windmill like nobody's business. St. Paul's. That's the church I grew up in. Let's be honest though. I was more of a hellion. Me and two of my friends decided to have a firework fight here one night. Things got loud and crazy. Cops got called. My dad had to come pick us up. What was my punishment? You guessed it. Raking the whole graveyard. That's a huge graveyard. Hey, grandson, granddaddy. That's my mom's parents. I'm named after him. Austin Middle School, where I peaked. I was voted class clown in 8th grade. And one time, this house right behind me, they were filming a movie, Terminal Bliss, with Luke Perry, and I was an extra in it. If you look really closely here at this video I made, you can see it. I'm right there, the bottom corner. See it? Look, keep watching. There it is. There I am. Stars Born. The Ladson Homemakers Club. Man, me and my friends would spend all our weekends here. We would raise money just to rent this place every weekend and have touring bands come and play here. We had like Inhumanity, Inkwell, Weston, my friend's band, Uric, my band, Juggernaut. We all played here and we all had bands play here. This is one of the greatest DIY scenes I ever heard of. Summerville is so good about this. Ladson Homemakers Club is actually in Ladson, so it's outside of Summerville, but it was still part of the Summerville scene. And, you know, just had lots of great weekends here, a lot of memories, a lot of great bands, a lot of great friends. Horribly, though, one time, some kids from another town came over because they heard about how awesome we were over here, and they decided to start shooting up the place. So that was pretty crazy. I think that might have been one of the last shows I remember coming to. But we all scattered, went in the yard. I jumped in my friend's car and hid in the back while that was going on, because that was just nuts, man. That's a small place to have like a gunfight. It was crazy. But I love those days, man. Those were some fun times. Oh yes, Summerville High School. Say what you will about high school, man, but I loved high school. Those were 5 fun years of my life. Anyway, here I was voted most unique and most likely to appear on a talk show. Well, I worked on a talk show, so does that count? I don't know. Anyway, way to go, Green Wave.
Oh yeah, I can't forget to mention that I was Mr. Sexy Legs 1994. But now I'm just bragging. You know, I've only looked for tadpoles in this creek one other time. It was when my mom and 2 of her friends were making a book about the history of Summerville, and they put my photo in it.
See, Port Trucker Recollections, it was so wonderful how it came together. I have deep roots in Summerville, and so Eleanor was living on our street, she's our photographer, and Peggy has always loved to write. We were really good friends, and so somehow it was birthed that the 3 of us would do a history of Summerville. And I don't know when we called it Port Trucker Recollections. I think Peggy named it. And each of us had a separate function, and it wouldn't have worked otherwise. Peggy wrote the text of the book, Eleanor did the photography, and I did much of the research and interviewed all the old timers in Summerville, and that was so much fun.
Back at the grill with my dad, he's still telling stories about growing up on Linwood Lane.
This street used to be closed on Sunday afternoons, so kids could come from everywhere and skate, because all the other streets were motorized and not available, so everybody would congregate out here, and it was a mob scene. It was wonderful. The streetscape changed from Hurricane Gracie and Hurricane Hugo. This street used to have a full canopy. When you drive down it or walk down it, you were covered by trees. Now it's not.
Yeah.
It's open.
It's wide open.
Which is too bad, because it was really beautiful back then. All the oaks with the draping moss. Bunch's Uptown Grocery, and it was mostly it's like a early 7-Eleven. It was a convenience store. They had meat and they had milk and they had things that you need on a daily basis, bacon and eggs, and lots of penny candy. Used to get penny candy all the time.
That storefront became my school bus stop when I was in middle school. My mom and I have similar injury type stories that resulted from us living in the low country.
I had 5 surgeries. Got the ladder, put it next to the porch, and climbed it and put my feet at the 8-foot level. It was an 8-foot ladder, and was reaching up and hanging on to the roof with this hang, trying to screw the eyelet in that I was going to hang the bird feeder in. And the earth was wet because it had been raining. It wasn't raining then. And the ladder went that way, and I fell this way, and I fell and I shattered everything in there. And I was immobile. I could not get up. I could get my head up enough to holler. And I did that for minutes, probably 15 minutes. And it was early in the morning. They probably thought I was having coffee someplace else or something. But Jenny was home, and I heard her coming down the back hall and yell, "Dad, it's Mom!" They thought I was goofy, that the screams were coming from the peacock that had taken up in the neighborhood after Hugo.
I too broke my arm. I was riding my bike home from after skateboarding with some friends, and the night before I was watching Who's the Boss, and Tony was telling Angela, who was getting on a motorcycle for the first time, he said, when you get into a curve, you got to lean into the curve. And so I was approaching the curve up here, and that's exactly what I did. I leaned into the curve. The stupid bicycle got caught on some soft sand, and I went
over the handlebars. Broke my elbow. Thankfully, a doctor and his wife were walking by. That happened right here on this corner. The funniest part about that story was the doctor walked around the corner to my house to see if my parents were home, and they weren't. But my brother and his old Honda were there. And so the doctor grabbed a tennis racket, an ace bandage to splint my arm, and got into my brother's car to come pick me up to take me to the hospital. But that car has no reverse. So they had to push the car backwards and all this stuff just to get it to come to us. And oh my God, it was so funny. I was laying on the side of the road for probably about 20 minutes. My arm still hurts to this day. And I broke it like 3 years ago. Again, same spot. What the hell?
This is Robert and Jay putting the lights on the tree. Christmas 1996, 1:30, Linwood Lane.
The one memory everyone loves the most are the Christmas scavenger hunts.
I loved Christmas mornings when your daddy did the scavenger hunt.
That came about because on Christmas morning, we would have the frenzy of the gifts. Everybody just opening everything and look at what I got, and look at what you got. And then it would stop. It was over. You know, that fast, Christmas was over. So I said, I got to think of something that'll keep it going. So I came up with this idea of having a way to talk about everybody, particularly like what they've done through the year. And we would go from, it was like a scavenger hunt, we'd go from clue to clue, but at each clue there was a clue to get to another clue. And at each clue it was something about somebody in the family. Some little ditty about what they'd done and where they were and what was going on in their life. And ultimately it would lead back to where we started from, and there'd be some envelopes with some money in it. That was the final Christmas gift.
But honestly, you know, the gift were the poems, man.
Well, I hope so. It was fun doing it.
All right, well, where are we going?
We're going to Twin Oaks.
We're going to see our new house. A new old house.
Tell me about the neighborhood.
Well, Twin Oaks was one of Summerville's first bona fide subdivisions, developed by Mr. Jack Pratt. And it is mostly brick ranches.
So no stairs.
1,300 to 1,800 square feet on a third to a half an acre.
Is it going to be easy to get used to?
No.
Of course, we had to notice the new street name as we turned toward the house. The road still feels very Summerville-y, and once you enter the driveway, you immediately realize how cute this place is. It is also very comforting to see such a great porch in the front.
Carry you over like you did the sketch.
Hey, that's a good creak. We'll get used to that sound. The first thing I thought when I walked into this house is that downsizing is real.
Here we are. The refrigerator is here. The stove is
These rooms are tight and very snug. The floors throughout are in great shape. My parents are already busy here measuring and planning for each room. Many changes will need to be made, and my mom has some ideas for this home. She's got a good eye for that sort of thing.
It's a little bit involved because you got to get
In the primary bathroom, my dad is already making a repair to the toilet. It will be great to see their furniture in this new house and watch it become theirs, but this room ain't getting any bigger. Let's check out the outside. This yard is blessed with some amazing mature trees. This shed is perfect to house all the yard tools needed to keep this place so pretty. The most important question for my mom: will this bathtub work?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well,
Your knees will stay dry. I see a new tub for this place in the near future. They may feel this place is a perfect fit for them, but truthfully, this house is lucky to get them. Overall, I think they can make it work. Now, as we head back to the original Linwood, I was wondering what favorite memories my mom had about this house, memories of each child that she keeps.
I remember your first birthday party here, and I made a cake that looked like a pumpkin and orange frosting. You remember that?
I think I remember that cake. I remember pictures of that cake.
Yeah. I love listening to Jenny play her piano. And I loved when Jay and I would sit someplace and have long talks. We would talk about anything and everything. I love that. And so all those are good memories.
This house has kept us safe in all kinds of weather. It's a place where we can show off what we're most proud of. It's a place that deserves a good pat on the head. It's a place that has taught us all to be good people. We've all grown up in this place. The proof is right there on the kitchen wall. It's not necessarily the structure of the house that made us so great. It is the foundation of the family that makes these memories real. We were just able to secure them under this roof.
Oh, and here we go. All right, up on the roof. Well, here I am. I made it on the roof. What's up? Look at that view. Used to hang out here with my friends Marley and Kim. Some things never change. Hank and I still hang out on our roof sometimes. Come on, Hank. Hey, buddy. Woo. We about to jump off the roof, dude? Don't do that. Anyway, so what can I say? You know, I'm gonna miss this place. But I got those great memories, and I got a lot more that I didn't even show. Great story. I got great parents. Love them both so much. Great siblings. But you know, I have my own home. I have my daughter and my wife that I love very much. And we're making great memories there. And so maybe one day she'll be on the roof talking about all the fun things that we did. But you know, as far as this house in Summerville, I'm okay. It's fine. I'm gonna miss it, but I'm okay. Anyway, I gotta get down because I gotta go home. I gotta go to my home. But yeah, thanks for going down memory lane with me and find out all these goofy things about me and my family and this awesome place that I lived at for basically my whole life. But I gotta go see my family. Love y'all. Take care.
Cutting through the country, on my way to you. Cutting through the country, on my way to you.